Welcome to NFL Week 1 Chuck's Chat YouTube. I am joined different crew from the college football. This is our pro crew, bunch of professionals. NFL season is back. We got representing from Paradise, New Jersey, Jeff Padovano, Teddy up in Motown, and Noah, who is one floor beneath me at the moment, here in the great city of Manayunk, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So, boys, I don't really know where to start. If you wanted to give a little, where I wanted to kind of go, with let's get an outlook on the season. I really wanted to hear the outlook on the New York Giants. We have Giants fan Jeff Padovano, Stretch as he is so affectionately referred to. What do you think about Daniel Jones as a make or break year for him? Got a second year Joe Judge. What's the outlook for you?
So I love Joe Judge, huge football guy. I'm entirely not sold on Daniel Jones whatsoever. I think not to his fault. I think Dave Gettleman might be the worst draft GM in the history of football. That being said, he's trying to put weapons around him. I don't know what he sees, but clearly there's a reason why he's in front office and I'm not. But I think if you're going to give somebody, I'm kind of seeing a repeat of the Eli Manning's last year. He got squeezed out by Daniel Jones, where leading into the season, they were like, this is Eli's team, like flashback a few years back. And then they draft Saquon Barkley. You're like, wow, like transcendental talent, like future Hall of Famer. But you don't give him an offensive line to throw to block. Saquon can do whatever he wants. He can rush for 2,000 yards a season and do his own thing. Eli Manning has no time to pass. You can't win a game. This isn't Army Navy here where they're going to run 65 times each. This is the National Football League. Balls to get downfield. If you don't give your quarterback time, how can they do that? Same thing is happening. I see right now. It's the fault of the GM. They had plenty of chances to either draft an offensive lineman, trade for an offensive lineman, sign an offensive lineman in the offseason. They try to find these diamonds in the rough, needle in the haystack, whatever you want to say, and they just flop every time. Cite Eric Flowers. He stinks. He stunk. Now he's kicking ass in Jacksonville or wherever the hell he is now. But that pick was kind of a reach. You draft the right tackle, try to move the left tackle. Doesn't work. Andrew Thomas, nobody saw him. He was like fourth or fifth in that last year's draft class of tackles. He was deemed the most NFL ready. Guess what? He wet the bed all preseason. So he's regressed entirely. Last year, we thought he was going to be doing pretty well. Like things are looking up, and now I have no faith. So to keep it short, after I went on my little monologue, I have no faith.
No, monologues are good for this. This is podcasting and YouTube videos is all monologues. That was perfect. So any chance they make the playoffs?
In this division? No.
Okay.
I mean, maybe I'm just too biased from previous 3 years, but I feel like the Cowboys had a very down year. I feel like they're kind of the same team. They just lost Dak, and that's pretty huge. Their offensive line has been shoddy with COVID opt-outs and injuries and retirements. But I still feel like the Cowboys still have 5 bulldozers, and Zeke is just going to rush for he's going to probably get 3,000 all-purpose yards this year, some ridiculous record-setting numbers. And then I think we're not a better team than the Eagles, as much as you guys may disagree or most likely agree, because the Giants just flat out stink. I don't think they have any sort of shot making the playoffs. And the football team's just a football team. Who knows what they're doing? Can't even decide a name. I don't think I can decide on them to make the playoffs or not. But at least teams with names, I think it's probably going to be Cowboys, Eagles, Giants, football team. Hot takes.
All right. I like it. I want to go up to the Great White North, Detroit, Motown, Teddy Dolinsky. As football guy gets. Obviously, I want to hear your opinion on the Eagles. But is the buzz palpable for Dan Campbell in Detroit? What are you hearing out there? You listen to any sports talk radio? What are the people saying out there? Are the people excited for Detroit Lions football?
Yeah, I think they're very excited. To be honest with you, I know the parking lots have filled up for a few preseason games, which never thought in my wildest dreams for the Lions they would see some preseason attendance. My neighbor actually works for the Lions, so I get a little inside scoops. What's going on. Try to figure out all the ins and outs and the cuts. Didn't really tell me too much. Confidential within the community. I think Dan Talica, he's got a lot going on. Just the personality, the regime. I think it's going to be a tough year for them. Obviously, anyone picking anything and the division they're in, it's going to be tough. I think they have a lot going. Defensively, I think they're pretty solid, especially their secondary. I think they can keep going with that. It's really just getting that line together and then kind of, I think, sticking it out this year with Goff and then really going for it, sucking this year and get their guy in the draft at quarterback. Not sure who it's going to be, but I think it's time for the Lions to start feeling something in the city. I think the Tigers got it going on. I know this is an NFL podcast, but there's a lot to see in the Tigers and what's going on here. So I think they can do the same thing. It's just really seeing the young potential they got going on. So I'm faithful in the Lions. They're my second team now. I'm adopting them.
It's a fun second team.
We'll build up. So once they win a Super Bowl, I can say I was a fan all along.
Right. Yeah. They didn't start building till you got there. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. I'm here to turn around teams. I turn around the Eagles myself personally. So here we go. I moved here for my job, and my job is in the Lions into a Super Bowl winning team.
All right. And then
just so you know, the Dolphins are also my adopted second team, just for the record.
All right. That works.
Just put that out there.
Then Teddy, what do you think about the Eagles?
I try to be very moderate with the Eagles. That can change on Sundays, but realistically, as a season wise, I think this whole year is just to figure out if Jalen Hurts is the guy. I don't personally want to see us make the playoffs. I just want to see some good ball with our young talent, figuring out the line play. Seeing really where our holes lie, especially as Kelsey's getting older. I just think, if this is the year to find out if he's your guy. There's 3 draft picks next year, potentially 3 with Wentz playing 75% of snaps, which I think is going to work out. And then if he is your guy, you have 3 picks to get weapons for him, whether that's offensive side of the ball or improve our defense. And if he's not, use those 3 picks, draft up and go get that guy and start over, which I don't want to start over, but I feel like I believe in Jalen Hurts, and a little bit last year didn't show me too much. It's kind of just a weird year in general with the Wentz battle and things like that. But I have faith with the young guys we have, and I think they're going to be a fun team to watch. They might be very frustrating with just stupid mistakes, but that comes with the young team.
Noah, do you are you kind of along the same lines with that? Do you more expectations? You think they're just dead team walking? What are you kind of feeling here?
I think they have a legitimate shot to win the division. I think the Cowboys are probably the best team going into the season in the NFC East. I think the Giants are probably going to be the most talented 5-win team that we're going to ever see. With Saquon Barkley, Kenny Galladay, they got some players on defense. It really kind of comes down to Daniel Jones on that front. And the football team, they have, 7-10 written all over them now, 8-9. I think the Eagles, looking at their schedule, the first 6 games or so are going to be tough, facing the Chiefs, Niners, and the Bucks. But I think they could realistically come out of that stretch 3-3. And then they got teams like the Jets, Lions, Raiders, Panthers, all very, very winnable games. And then, if you go 4-2 or 3-3 in the division, you're looking at a 9-10 win season right there. Obviously, the extra game this year helps with the record as far as the wins go. And, the Cowboys are the Cowboys. They'll find a way to step on their own feet at some point. It really comes down to Jalen Hurts. As Teddy said, I have a lot of faith in him. All the reports coming out is the locker room really loves him. His stats weren't great last year, but, as far as the eye test goes, he looked well. He looked like he played really well in a few games, especially the Saints game. Everybody's going to go back to that one. I think the defense got a lot better, and I feel like a lot of people are missing that. Steve Nelson is a legitimate number 2 cornerback. I think this is the best set of corners that we've had in almost a decade, really. Anthony Harris is one of the better safeties in the NFL. People are missing him. We're essentially replacing Jalen Mills with Anthony Harris, which is a massive upgrade. And then Eric Wilson, the other signing we got from the Vikings, linebacker. He's a legitimate middle linebacker. So long, Nathan Gary. I hope to never see you in an Eagles jersey again. Wilson's going to solidify that front. And, of course, you got the defensive line with Cox, Hargrave, Brandon Graham. You had Ryan Kerrigan. And then the rotation between Barnett and Sweat. It's going to be great. Rager's going to take a step forward, I hope. You got Devontae Smith. Quez Watkins seems like a breakout. I have a lot of hope for this team. I don't think they're going to compete for any serious, championship or make a deep run in the playoffs, but they're going to be an exciting team. I think they're going to win a bunch of games this year. And, all comes down to Hurts. If he's not the guy, you have those picks for next year. But I do believe in him. I think we're set up to be a good team, soon. Maybe not this year, but next couple of years for sure.
Yeah, to piggyback off of both of those, I'm kind of in that same group there. The way that last season ended, I think up through the draft, like loved getting Devonta Smith. That kind of raised the spirits a lot for me. And then I was very pessimistic about the team until last week. Maybe it's the season's coming closer, start getting excited. Teddy and Ferry are texting for those about to rock in the group chat. And the juices start getting flowing. Noah, you'll appreciate this analogy more so because you pay attention to the Sixers a lot more than Teddy and Jeff. Well, Jeff doesn't pay attention to the Sixers at all outside of the playoffs. But going back to the 2017 Sixers, where until they went on, they had a 15-game win streak or something at the end of the season. But until then, they were a 500. But they were frisky. The thing with that team, and I think we'll see it with the Eagles this year, a young team that they're going to be in a lot of games. They're going to be exciting, but they don't know how to win yet. They're going to be learning how to win. So, not to get ahead of ourselves, but week one, Matt Ryan knows how to win. That's one of those where I think the Eagles are going to be tough, be in it, and maybe some plays down the stretch that Hurts can't make yet, or the offense can't make yet. Nick Sirianni doesn't really know what to do yet, per se, that Matt Ryan's making, Arthur Smith is making, because Arthur Smith was a great OC in Tennessee and kind of had that going. So that I don't think they'll make the playoffs, but I do think that they'll be a lot of fun. I'm really excited. I like the no expectations, just go in, enjoy the ride, and I'm excited for it. I'm with you, Teddy, on haven't really seen it with Hurts yet, but I think at the end of the season we'll be all right, he's our guy. Let's move forward. We don't have to use a pick on a quarterback. I don't love Hal and Rattler and the whole bunch. Let's just rock with Hurts and let's keep it moving into the future and hopefully have a contender soon. Noah, I want to start with you. Any futures that you have for this NFL season?
So I got a future that I've been loving all off season. I've been talking to you about it specifically. Everybody's going to go with, the Bills, the Chiefs, the Bucks, the Packers. Everybody's picking them as their Super Bowl favorites, and deservedly so. They were the 4 best teams in the league last year. The dark horse I have, and I placed several units on it today, are the Los Angeles Chargers. I love the Chargers going into this year. Justin Herbert, second-year quarterbacks, there's the whole sophomore slump. If you look at it, though, second-year quarterbacks have been significantly better, in recent years than they were their rookie years. Baker Mayfield, maybe not, but Patrick Mahomes won the Super Bowl his second year as a starter. Carson Wentz won, was almost the MVP his second year. Lamar Jackson won the MVP his second year. So there's just a trend of these second-year quarterbacks making a huge jump from their rookie year. And if you look at it, going back to, I believe it was the 2013-2014 season, and this is one of my favorite conspiracies, is that second-year quarterbacks win the Super Bowl every other year after Tom Brady. So 2014, you had Russell Wilson. It was his second year in the league. Seahawks won the Super Bowl against the Broncos. Year after, Patriots and Tom Brady beat the Seahawks. Year after that is your one outlier with the Broncos and Peyton Manning. And if you're one outlier in this whole theory here is Peyton Manning, I think you're looking pretty good. So then the year after that, you have the 28-3 Patriots beat the Falcons. The year after that, obviously, Carson Wentz did not play in the Super Bowl, but he started, 13, 14 games. Eagles were really good. There's your second-year quarterback. Year after that, the Patriots beat the Rams, Tom Brady again. Year after that, you go to Patrick Mahomes. Now, it was his third year, but it was only his second year playing. Year after that was, of course, Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. So just going off of the law of averages here, it's lining up to be another second-year quarterback. The Dolphins, Bengals, and Chargers are the three that come to mind, and I think the Chargers are the most complete team there. I also threw a couple of units on Najee Harris as the offensive rookie of the year. But those are my two futures that I'm looking out for.
I like that. I like the theory, even though I don't entirely agree with it. But
hey, when you're looking at stuff like this,
it's all
gut feeling.
Teddy, any futures you got coming into this season?
Yeah, I do really like. I'm kind of going off last year, just with Pittsburgh being so good, I guess, and then fraudulent at the end. I'm going to go off of that and say they still don't have it together. I think the under 8.5 wins is a huge future. The odds are it's minus 130, so it's kind of a little bit favorable. But I think in that division, you do have the Ravens, you do have the Browns. I think they're going to lose those battles. I think they're probably going to go like 1-3 against those two teams. And I just can't see them getting it together. Their line's not that great. Najee Harris is good, but I don't see them putting it together going forward as the AFC gets stronger, and not only, again, with their division. So I really do like that. I would say also Zeke under 1,200 rushing yards this season. I think injury-wise, I think that's what the Cowboys are going to do. They're going to be the Cowboys, and injuries are going to get them with any team. But specifically them, they don't have any depth. Zach Martin's already out for week 1. That's big. Zeke's just I think he's in that mature stage of his career where he's just not eager to do anything stat-wise. He's just kind of there to, I guess, not saying having fun, but I feel like that's kind of his place. Let's just, do what we need to do a little Zeke in the first quarter, and that's about it. He's not there to win games. I feel like he might get hurt at some point. And kind of going to piggyback off that, I would take Dak under 4,725 passing yards. I don't think he's going to play the complete season. I think with that injury in the shoulder, people are kind of underplaying it. I just can't see him putting it together and that offense, fully being on the same cylinders, going throughout the season. So I would take those few player unders, and then as well as the Pittsburgh Steelers. I hate the Steelers. That also helps, but that's intangible.
I like the Steelers one a lot. You made a ton of good points. I definitely think that makes a ton of sense. Jeff, what do you got going on future wise?
Giants under 7 wins is just above even money. You're on plus 110, 115, depending on the book that you're on. I support big business, so my book has it one way. You guys might have space to your odds than that. I just don't, even with the extra game, I just don't see them being able to piece together over. I could see them getting 7, and worst case scenario pushes. I get my money back, but I do not see them beating the Raiders, the Chiefs, the Rams, the Saints, or Atlanta to start. And right there,
is that the start of their season?
They're started at the start. So the first half, pre-bye week, they go. It's Atlanta's week 3, then they go to the Saints week 4, at Dallas 5, home against the Rams week 6, 7 is Carolina, 8 is at Kansas City, then week 9 before the bye week is home against the Raiders, and then after the bye week they go to Tampa Bay.
Wow. I
see them going maybe out of those 9 games, 3-6 at best if they squeak out a win. Like if they squeak out an inter-division win against, football team, Cowboys, maybe it's 2-5 or 2-8, whatever. I just don't see. I think it's decent value because worst case scenario, it's a good number because it's worst case scenario they're going to push or you win. If they get 8 wins, I'll be ecstatic. I'll do cartwheels all the way to Giant Stadium for their last place in the division parade. Another player future that I got, Aaron Rodgers over 35.5 touchdown passes. I think he's kind of going. I mean, I hate LeBron, but I think he's kind of going like 0 dark 30 or whatever the hell he said. Final last dance, victory lap, whatever you want to call it. I think he's probably going to have 43 touchdown passes. I'm going out there on a limb, 43. And I think probably 40 of them are going to be to Devontae Adams. So you can also take his touchdown prop over whenever it comes out. And then Super Bowl, I don't know why got a Packer fetish today. I kind of like their odds for the Super Bowl just at the value because, they make it to the NFC Championship last year or
They did the past 2 years.
how far they make it? They make it. Yeah, so I feel like they're just like they're literally one game away from the Super Bowl. That plus 1,200, I think it's tasty to me because Chiefs at 5-1, Bucks at 6-1. That's kind of like there's no fun in that. There's no fun rooting for like the favorites to win. So I like the Packers, and then division winners. I like the Cowboys, even though coming out of the NFC East, they're plus 150, and that's basically a pick 'em compared to all the other odds for the divisions because they're one of the few divisions that has everybody at plus money. And I don't think the Giants are going to do it, so I'm not going to put my money where my mouth is and take Paradise to go all the way. Maybe next year, but we'll see.
All right, the Packers thing makes a lot of sense. I like that. Those
That's
odds,
John, right?
In case anybody needs more convincing on the Chargers.
I think the Chargers are good. I agree.
Yeah.
I know. They're currently at plus 3,300 to win the Super Bowl. It's incredible odds. And I think their over under for wins this year is at 9. Take that over. Take it. They're winning double digit games easily, especially with that division. I know they play the Chiefs twice, but Raiders, Broncos, they're gonna win all 4 of those matchups.
Can't sleep on the Broncos, dude. That defense is solid.
Yeah.
Their offense is buns. Like Teddy Bridgewater is better than Drew Lock, but he's a field goal quarterback, meaning he's gonna get you within 30, 40 yards, and then you're gonna sputter out and kick a field goal pretty much every time they touch the ball. That guy does not score touchdowns. He does not throw the ball deep. He throws slants. On top of that, I don't know if you guys saw the the meme coming out earlier this year, like the similarity between the Chargers and the Buccaneers off seasons. So last year, 2019, the Bucks finished 7-9. Chargers had finished 7-9 this past year. The Bucks in the 2020 draft selected offensive tackle Tristan Wirfs with the number 13 overall pick. This year, the Chargers selected Rashawn Slater, offensive tackle, with the number 13 overall pick. And then it gets even deeper into the second round. The Bucks had drafted in 2020 a defensive back named after his all-pro father, Antoine Whitfield Jr., and the Chargers took a defensive back named after his all-pro father in Asante Samuel Jr. And the Buccaneers just won their Super Bowl at their home stadium. And do you guys know where the Super Bowl is this year?
I guess it's in a SoFi Stadium.
It is in SoFi Stadium.
It sounds like a giant coincidence.
It is just the stars are lining up for this team. I don't know what it is, but just every prop you can take on the Chargers, take it. I'm all in on them this year.
On a non-coincidence in theory, something that I think is very interesting with the Chargers that not a lot of people are talking about is Darwin James, who was an All-Pro as a rookie, missed last year, and he is coming back. He is awesome, and he's going to be awesome again this year for the Chargers. And maybe they'll be a playoff team. I think that'll be a lot of fun to watch for sure.
New head coach too.
New head coach also, who was awesome on Pardon My Take a couple months ago. I only have 2 futures. One, Chase Young plus 1,000 to win the Defensive Player of the Year. Kind of piggybacking off of Noah's second-year thing. I love that second-year thing that really talented NFL players have. Chase Young's one of those guys. Had, I think, 7.5 sacks last year. And that defense will have – they have enough people there for him to not get doubled a lot, and I think he's going to wreak havoc for Washington. Like him at plus 1,000 to take that leap and win Defensive Player of the Year over Aaron Donald, TJ Watt, and those guys out there. Then the other one I have is Chicago Bears under 7.5 wins at minus 120. I foolishly have always loved Mitch Trubisky. I don't know why. I still believe you can win a Super Bowl with Mitch Trubisky.
I know why.
Oh yeah. Yes, that might be part of the reason why. I genuinely think Mitch Trubisky is a starting NFL quarterback. I think Matt Nagy stinks. and that'll be shown this year. He's going to start Andy Dalton 1 week too long, and that's going to ultimately cost them. They had to sign Jason Peters, and he stinks now. So I think that says all that needs to be said about one, Matt Nagy. You will see his play calling stinks, and then also the line just isn't good enough, and they're not going to be very good. So under 7.5, it's minus 120. So that's what I have there. Getting into,
I have another one.
Oh, you have another one.
Completely forgot about it. I think I placed this bet like in March. Lions over 5 wins just for Ted out in Motor City. Even money.
Calico, baby.
No other reason.
Going into the big games, wanted to start with the Steelers and Bills. Bills minus 6.5. This is a rematch from last year where Juju Smith-Schuster was doing the TikTok dances. That was the last time he said he was done doing it forever. Over under 48.5. Jeff, what do you got in this game?
I have the over. I'm hesitant, but I think because week 1 preseason is always kind of a wash. Could be some first week jitters. I have over 48.5, and I'm liking the Bills. I kind of think the Steelers are fraudulent, mainly because I don't like TikTok, and therefore I don't like Juju Smith-Schuster. So I got to go against them. That's just from the heart. Oh, I'm such a boomer.
Teddy, what do you got there?
Yeah, I think the Bills roll minus 6.5. Steelers getting fraudulent. Don't think they got it together yet. And the under 48.5. I think it's a blowout. Steelers put up much points.
No.
It's in Buffalo. Bills are going to win. I would take the under here. I think it's going to be a gritty game. It's 2 really good defenses. I don't have a lot of faith in the Steelers offense, but enough to at least get a couple scores. I would stay away from that line, 6.5. I could easily see this being like a 23-17 type of game where it's just really, really close on that line. But I'm liking the under on that one.
Yeah, I've also got Bills minus 6.5. Right side of football number for me. They should take care of Pittsburgh week 1. This is kind of them and the Browns are kind of having the same boat of all the excitement coming in after the last year. Like they're at home. They'll get cooking early. Next game, very interesting to me. Seattle Seahawks going to Indianapolis. Carson Wentz's first start in Indianapolis. The Colts are plus 2.5. Oh crap! My AC just turned off. It's back on. Over under 49.5. Noah, want to start with you there. What do you think about this game?
I'm taking Seahawks plus 2 minus 2.5. Sorry. The Seahawks usually start out hot pretty much every year. Russell Wilson usually starts the year off on a roll and teeters off towards the end a little bit. So I think the Seahawks are going to put up some numbers. I would probably take the over. This is a little bit of a Carson Wentz redemption tour. So I could see him playing a little bit better this year. The Seahawks defense usually has the last couple of years hasn't been as great as it was back in the Legion of Boom. So I could see this being a pretty high scoring game.
Teddy, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I completely disagree. I will go with the Colts plus 2.5. I think it's just like new Carson. Somehow it's going to haunt the Eagles fans and me and everyone else. He's just going to roll. It's going to be a close game, but I still think that they pull it out and win. And I'll take the under. Seahawks always play those scrappy, low-scoring games, I believe. So I think it's going to be like a 21-20.
Jeff?
I have the same picks as Noah. I think I like the Seahawks only because, I don't trust Wentz. Now that I say that, he's probably going to throw for like 5 touchdowns and just like blow the doors off the Seahawks. Hopefully that doesn't happen. And then I think I like the over. I could see both of these teams putting up some points, defense taking a week off and kind of getting into the swing of things of the season. I think it's going to be, I have it at 50 right now, so that's pretty awful football number in my opinion. But I think I'm optimistic it goes over. Just first game of the season, I think there's going to be a lot of sloppy play to start, where you're going to see maybe a special teams touch in here that just gets the point value over the threshold. But that's it.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll with Teddy on this one. I like taking a
House
team
divided.
like a team like the Colts as home dogs. I think is a very nice value to get, and getting them plus 2.5. Frank Reich's got his guy, and I think the Colts are a very good team already. Whatever the quarterback is, and I think that they'll get the home win. I'm not officially playing it, but for the show, plus 2.5, Indianapolis Colts. Jeff, want to get your pick on a game that I think is going to be very entertaining. The Cardinals going to Nashville, taking on the Tennessee Titans. -3 over under is 52.
I'm just pounding the over, and I'm not sold on Kyler Murray yet to put anything on him to cover. So I'm keeping my money off of the spread. I would lean towards Titans, given the points, 2.5 or three, whatever it is, at home, and definitely over. I think it's just gonna be a shootout. I could see it being like a 35 to 28 game.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. On all of that, I love the over. 52
I have it
Cardinals.
highlighted on my sheet. That's like one of the only things I've highlighted on my big spreadsheet right now. It's like saw that I was like, that's it, easy.
So Teddy, is that your only look at that game too, or do you got a
like Titans too. I think they start off strong. Cardinals, I don't know about Kyler Murray, so I take the Titans.
No.
Yeah, I mean it's two high-powered offenses. They score in two very different ways, but addition of Julio Jones is going to help the Titans out a lot. It's in Tennessee. I'm gonna have to go with the Titans, but I definitely take that over. It's gonna be a very, very high-scoring game. Could be a toss-up, but like I said, home field advantage. Give it to Tennessee.
Then going to Kansas City, Missouri, rematch of last year's very close AFC divisional round game. The Chiefs' closest game that obviously wasn't the Super Bowl. Mahomes got injured. We had the fumble at the goal line that ended up being a touchback. Browns seeking revenge. Huge year for the Browns. The expectations have never been higher in our lifetime. Noah, Chiefs are -6. The over-under is 54.5.
I'm taking the over. I know it's probably, I think it's the highest one of the week. I'm definitely taking that. I think the Chiefs are just a well-oiled machine, and they're just going to put up points fast, which is going to put the ball back in the Browns' hands, and they're going to put up points fast. It's two good offenses, two so-so defenses. I'm still taking the Chiefs -6. This could easily be a game where the Chiefs put up well into the 30s, and the Browns still put up 28 points and lose by double digits.
Teddy, what do you think about this one?
I honestly love the Browns. I think this is a lot bigger of a game for them. I mean, it's week one, but I think it's a lot bigger, even with kind of happened with last season in the playoffs. But ultimately, I think in the end, Chiefs will, in the playoffs, beat them. But yeah, I think it's big for the Browns. They lose by 4, but they're still covered.
And Jeff,
I love the over as well. Just like Noah, absolutely saw that. I was like, that's going to be like a 35 to 30 game. That being said, I actually have the Browns to cover. I'm not really sure why. I just kind of think it's going to kind of be a closer game than people expect. I think for these two teams, 6.5 points is a lot, or 6. But I don't know, something about week one makes me think the Browns are going to come out hot, especially because of how close that game was last year. I think they got something a little bit more to prove coming out week one. So yeah, I like Browns to cover, not to win, and pounding the over.
Yeah, I'm with Teddy again on the Browns. I like this spot of betting against teams coming off Super Bowl losses. You saw it last year. The 49ers lost at home to the Cardinals. I think the Browns keep it really close. I could see them winning this game. I think +6 is tremendous, value on, in terms of how many points the Browns are getting. They're a very good football team, and I will, I'll be taking the Browns this weekend. Then 2 more games left. Packers Saints, which will be played in Jacksonville, Florida, due to Hurricane Ida. Jameis Winston getting his first start for the New Orleans Saints. Aaron Rodgers back with the Packers, now going to Jacksonville. Remember, Jameis grew up in Florida, played at Florida State, games now in Jacksonville. Teddy, what are you thinking on this one? The over-under is 50. Saints are +4.
I like the Packers -4. I just think Rodgers is coming back, with the whole offseason thing. I think they just continue to roll. They got everything going. They win by like at least 9.
Jeff.
I like the Packers -4 as well. I really don't trust Jameis at all, and here's why. So Notre Dame, as people do not know, stinks, in my opinion. Florida State lost to Notre Dame this past weekend. At home in Florida, Jameis Winston went to Florida State, therefore he stinks. Therefore, Packers by 13 over 50 points.
All right, then Noah. I love that analysis, Jeff. It was sound.
Analytics, some would say.
So I like the over in this one. Packers obviously have a very good offense and a very so-so defense. They got exposed pretty badly by the Bucs in the playoffs last year. I've been kind of back and forth on who to go with here, just because of all the stuff going on with Aaron Rodgers over the offseason, and it could kind of go in two different directions. Either it's going to be another Aaron Rodgers fuck you tour to the organization. He's just going to come out and ball out the entire season just like he did last year. Or, and what I think I'm going to go with here is it's going to take 1 week to get him punched in the mouth by Jameis Winston, before he kind of really kicks it into gear. So I think I'm going to go with Saints +4 here. I do like the new look Saints. I think Sean Payton may be the right coach to get Jameis right in the head. And plus, this is the first we're going to see him after LASIK surgery. Marquez Callaway, undrafted free agent. He looked spectacular in the preseason. And of course, you got Alvin Kamara and a very good Saints defense on top of that as well.
Yeah, I honestly wasn't sure which side I was going to take until I listened to all three of you talk, and I think I'm going to go with the Packers now. That's nothing against you now.
Can't rule the Saints out after a hurricane, man.
That's true. I might be Steve Gleason coming out to block a kick too, or is that not happening? I
didn't think about that.
The Packers last year, I think week 1 they kicked the piss out of the Vikings, the only reason I remember is that I think I had the Vikings, and I'm not going to make the same mistake again against Aaron Rodgers. I don't think the Saints are going to be that good. There's something about them this year. I don't know. And they could come out and be 12-5 or whatever. But right now, I'm not feeling the Saints. I'll go with Green Bay. And then Sunday Night Football, Carrie Underwood leading it off with this year. LA Rams, first time in their home stadium with fans, SoFi Stadium. Chicago Bears visiting town, Andy Dalton and Matt Stafford, his first start. Jeff, want to hear from you first. The Rams are -7.5. The over/under is 46.
I gotta go with the Rams. I think the Bears have an incredible defense. I can't see them putting up any points starting Andy Dalton to keep up, because even though I think Matt Stafford's first game as a Ram is going to be pretty interesting. We'll see how well he settles into that offense. I still think it's going to end up being the Rams taking the points. And then I think it's going to be under city population because both defenses are pretty stellar, but I still see it being kind of like the Rams D just kind of pitches a shutout, and I can't see the Bears going to win 10 points. And I think it's probably going to end up somewhere in the ballpark of 24-9.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. I love the Rams -7.5. The Bears everything is pointing towards the Bears looking like a complete joke with Nagy holding on to Andy Dalton too long, and then they're going to roll in. The Rams are one of the favorites to win the Super Bowl. Their defense is stellar. Matt Stafford first start. It's going to be the Bears will be like memed again from the Mitch Trubisky days. That will just continue starting Sunday night until whenever Justin Fields finally starts a game. Teddy, your take on this game?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to piggyback off you guys, and I completely agree. I think the Rams roll in this one, and part of what I picked is Rams -3 first quarter. I think they just jump out of the
Ooh.
gates. Stafford,
Ooh.
Stafford
I
is the
like
I
guy
love
that.
at the end of the
first quarter
day. The
bets.
offense, greener pastures for him. You can still buy a Matt Stafford Rams jersey in Detroit. Fun fact: they love the guy here. So I just think, yeah, I mean they're just gonna roll. I think that defense is gonna be solid, and the Bears are just a shit show.
No.
Yeah, you guys said it all. I mean, I love Rams -7.5. I think Matt Stafford is a huge upgrade over Jared Goff. I think the Rams offense is going to look a lot better, even though it's been pretty good the last few years. I do like the under. These are two of the better defenses in the league. I think the Bears offense stinks and will stink until they figure out when to put in Justin Fields. You probably should be starting right away. I understand the caution of not wanting to play him against Aaron Donald in his first career game. But you know what you're going to get out of Andy Dalton, and that's nothing special.
All right. So those are the big games of the week. Now we're going on to our personal cards. Teddy, I wanted to start with you here. Give me everything but your lock and also your dog of the week.
Okay. I would say I love Tampa -3 first quarter. I think the Super Bowl effect is coming in hot. Really just kind of poo-pooing on the Cowboys' new season and everything going on with them after the Hard Knocks. So I love Tampa coming out hot -3. That's -115. I love Chargers at a pick 'em right now, kind of going off Noah and his hype, but I do love them this week. I love the over in the Atlanta Philly game. I just think Matt Ryan, the Falcons, notoriously just ball out early on in the season. Don't really know what's going on. We'll see what kind of happens with the Philadelphia Eagles, but I think there's going to be a lot of points going throughout that game. And I'll just go again to the Tampa game, and I'll pick them -8. I do not like the Cowboys. I think they stink, and I think they're going to have a disastrous season like always.
I'm adding that. I really like the Bucks -3. I may be adding that to my card. I think that makes a lot of sense. And the Rams -3. That I don't know if you said that during that little section, but love that.
Yeah.
And,
The first game.
Noah.
Yeah, definitely going to be adding some. Already talked about. I will be taking Green Bay, New Orleans over. I will be taking Browns, Chiefs over, and Seahawks -2.5 at Indianapolis. But the two we did not get to. I will be taking the Chargers -1, basically a pick 'em over Washington football team. And I do like the Niners -7.5 over the Lions. I know it's in Detroit. I think the Lions stink. I think they will be competing for the worst team in the league with the Houston Texans. Dan Campbell, great leader of men. I do not think he's going to be a very good coach. You're downgrading from Matt Stafford to Jared Goff. You're losing your best receiver in Kenny Galladay. It's I don't know. It's just a recipe for kind of setting yourself up to be good maybe 2-3 years from now.
And what's your dog of the week?
My dog of the week, I hate to be a homer, but Bird's tit line. I don't think the Falcons are very good. I don't think the Falcons are very good. Kyle Pitts, yes, is going to be very exciting. But, they weren't good last year. They don't have Julio Jones anymore. Their offensive line is not very good. Their defense is not very good. I just think the Eagles have a more all-around team. Crazy to say, I know, but the Falcons are pretty much just Matt Ryan, Kyle Pitts, Calvin Ridley.
Then Jeff.
So one of the games you didn't cover was Jets Panthers. I'm taking the under. I got it at 44.5. The Jets just stink. I don't think Zach Wilson is ready to lead a team just yet. I know Sam Darnold's kind of revenge tour. I can see him putting up Panthers at least putting up a lot of points. I can't see Zach Wilson putting up 1-2 touchdowns in his first start. So I think under 44.5. I personally love. I also like Chargers -1. Noah's pick. He kind of convinced me about all of his Justin Herbert talk on all Super Bowls. So I was like, you know what? I like that pick. The Eagles, I'd like the Eagles over as well. I think that's kind of going to be a shootout because I think Matt Ryan's going to come to play, and I think the Eagles are probably going to rise to the occasion somewhat. I'm not touching the game at all, game result total. I just think over points for certain. I do not have any ideas about why I'm doing this. I think it's just out of respect for Zacho, aka Tony. But I'm taking the Vikings -3 at the Bengals. I just think the Bengals stink. The Vikings also stink, but I think I've been burnt so many times by taking them in their first game of the season that I'm just ready to be hurt again. And I think at one point it's got to be due. Like, I got to hit this bet. Even if they win, it's going to be by like 2 because of a safety or something. But I need to do this until it hits so I can sleep soundly at night. My final pick that I got going right now for this card, not including my dog of the week or lock of the week, is the Giants Broncos under 41.5. Both teams have, surprisingly, the Giants actually have a pretty decent defense, coming from me, the most pessimistic Giants fan possible. But they have a good defense, but they don't really get any takeaways. So what that's going to do, the Broncos are just going to chew clock. So I could see a lot of long possessions, deep drives into like the enemy territory just for a field goal to be the result. So I think it's going to be an absolute barn burner. The Broncos are going to end up winning that game, but I do like the under because I don't think any offense can really withstand the defense of the other opposing team.
Then your dog of the week.
Dog of the week. We already discussed it, so I feel like I'm kind of cheating, but I think it's the Browns +6.5. I think the one that I was thinking about this after we got done with our discussion, I could kind of see the Chiefs coming out with like a bone to pick, thinking like they got all right, like we got something to prove because we didn't make it all the way last year. But I think the Browns are just going to come out. Baker Mayfield's going to come out and just sling 3 touchdowns to OBJ and kind of punch him in the mouth and catch him by surprise. A couple quick touchdowns. Like I think you could see easily an offensive like first drive touchdown, a defensive touchdown. The next, it's a 2-score game, and that kind of sets the tone from there.
And Teddy, did you give us your dog? I forgot if I messed that up.
No. So I mean, you kind of talked about the game already, but I love Indy more and more now at +130. I just think as an Eagles fan, Carson Wentz is going to haunt us week 1, and they're going to figure it out, especially with that solid defense, and get off to a hot start for the season. So that is my dog of the week. And we're going to locks of the week now.
I'm going to do my card and then locks.
All right,
so first pick, Broncos -3 at the Giants. I think the Broncos are going to. Yeah, I think they're just a better roster. Teddy Bridgewater is like the Greek god of covering spreads, and I think he's going to do it again here. I hate that I didn't get it at -1.5. It's now at -3, is what it is. Love the Broncos in this spot. Their offense, every offense in the AFC West is super fast, and I feel like all their games are going to be a lot of fun to watch. Whoever they're playing against. 49ers -7.5 at the Lions. Going off what Noah said, I think the Lions are really bad. 49ers are way better than they were last year in terms of what the record was last year, way more talented. Eagles +3 at Atlanta. They could definitely win this game. So I think it'll be close game the entire way. They may lose on a cheat or field goal at the end on a Matt Ryan drive. Bills -6.5. We already talked about that. My dog of the week is Browns +6. And then Rams -3 first quarter I added from Teddy. I think that's an awesome bet. All right. And then my lock of the week, we already talked about it, but I don't see how this loses. Rams -7.5. It's going to be – I am expecting a bloodbath on Sunday Night Football. Noah.
My lock of the week is the Jaguars. They are only -2.5 over the Texans. I think the Texans are going to easily be the worst team in the NFL this year. They've essentially traded everybody good on their team and are left over with Tyrod Taylor and Brandon Brooks. They may not win a game this year. They may go 0-17. They may only win 1 or 2 tops. I think the Jaguars will be better than they were last year. Trevor Lawrence has not lost a regular season game since he was in middle school, and I don't see that ending week 1.
Teddy, your lock of the week. I like that pick now.
I'm going to go with New England -3. I think notoriously, the Patriots kind of start out a little in hot water. Everyone's like, "Oh, are they still that good?" Brady's gone, Cam Newton's gone. I think they finally got their guy in Mac Jones. I think their defense is sound, and I think Miami's still trying to figure themselves out and don't have it quite that early in week 1. Belichick beats Flores -3.
Jeff?
We already talked about this game, but I think my lock of the week is Packers -4. Vegas must know something for that line to be so close, in my opinion, just because comparing Aaron Rodgers to Jameis Winston, it's just like I can't wrap my head around Jameis being able to see. Like, I know he got LASIK, so now he can see. Now he's got a new set of eyes, but like I can't see them. Even at home, technically, I can't see them putting up any kind of fight against the Packers. I just think Aaron Rodgers and Devontae are just going to roll them and not really shock anybody, but I think it's going to be a blowout. I think this is a steal of a line at the moment. I think this line could honestly go to 7.5 or 8, and I would still take this. I think the Packers are going to win by like 15.
One last thing. So since we're all only doing like against the spread and totals for the cards and the records and all that stuff, I do have a teaser I wanted to give out.
God.
It's plus 200, 7-point teaser. Cardinals Titans over 45, Browns +13, Dolphins +10, and Rams -0.5. I don't see how that loses.
I like that. I like all of it.
So we'll see. But
if I like teasers, I think I like it, but because I hate teasers, I hate it.
Okay. That's
Well, you're
fair.
teasing yourself, right?
Facts. Yeah, exactly.
If I did like teasers, which I don't, I would take that.
All right. Any closing thoughts?
Lions will win because the Tigers just won tonight, 5-1, beating the Pirates. So I'll take the Lions.
Okay.
I don't know. I think the 49ers are going to look a lot like they did in 2019 than they did last year. They're healthy. All comes down to the quarterback. They didn't have Garoppolo at full health last year. I do not think the Lions will be very good.
And all right, one last thing, rapid fire. Who wins the Super Bowl? Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes is the MVP. Noah.
Oof. Oh, MVP. I did not think about this. I'm taking Chargers.
I just meant MVP of the Super Bowl.
I'm taking Chargers win the Super Bowl. It will be Justin Herbert, Super Bowl MVP.
Teddy.
I'm going to go with Packers and Rodgers, just another fuck you tour. And then he says, I'm going to go you, Jeff.
Two sexy rides. I got the same pick as Teddy.
All right.
Rodgers, MVP, and Packers bringing the Lombardi Trophy home to the Cheesehead.
To Titletown.
I'm surprised. No love for the Bills.
I was thinking Bills,
I love the Bills,
but then I remembered I'm all in on Aaron Rodgers. So
fair enough.
if I wasn't all in on Aaron Rodgers, I would have picked
a Bills Packers Super Bowl would be the ultimate tailgate food experience.
If the Chargers don't win, Bills are going to be my number 2.
And tables getting smashed.
I would love to see that.